Howdy guys, it's Mac the Gun Guy, and so today I want to talk about something that has been literally a decade in the making. The reason why I'm doing this video now is I just decided to upgrade the tablet I'm using. So this started as the iPhone apps started to come out, and what I believe there was a lot of value in it. And then it turned into making a Doomsday computer, which I have. It's built on a Raspberry Pi, actually. It's got a small screen on it. I can power it with 60,000 milliamp hour battery packs that I bought on Amazon. I caught on Black Friday for cheap, and I ended up buying 10 of them. But anyway, that's not even what this is. This is a whole nother version of what the Doomsday computer turned into. Because technology has caught up with, or more to the point, surpassed what the Raspberry Pi could do at the time. Although the Raspberry Pi does have value, it is not specifically, it's not the perfect throw it in a backpack device. I mean, it's great for a camp environment where you can set up large solar panels to charge your battery packs and such. So as I got ready to, this all started because I got a sister in Florida that endured the hurricanes, or the hurricane. Next one's coming. And she was without cell service. We finally got to talk to her. And I was like, I have had the Garmin InReach program for a long time, but I started looking for something to get her, to set her up for down there. So let's start at the beginning. So I am hands down an Apple guy. I can't stand Androids. That said, Apple iPads are fragile compared to what you can get. Now, I have currently a Lenovo. It's I believe it's 10-inch tablet. In fact, I know it's 10-inch tablet. I bought it specifically because at the time I bought it, which has been, 3, 4, 5 years ago, at least 3 years ago, it had the biggest milliamp hour battery that I could find on Amazon at the time, which was like 6,500 milliamp hours. And you got to understand, at the time, that was fantastic. Might have been 8,000 milliamp hours, but anyway. So I was on cruising Amazon the other day. Let me pull this down in here. I find this, and I've done all my research on it. I've sat here and read probably 5 hours of reviews on it. It's another Android tablet, but it's got a 15,600 milliamp hour battery. That battery that's in this thing is insane. It is, they say, waterproof. I'll go with water resistant, which I put my Lenovo in an OtterBox. But this comes with armor shielding and the whole 9 yards. 16 megapixel camera is okay. It's got a monster processor compared to the Lenovo. It's got a monster amount of native storage at 256 gig. Plus, you can put a 2 terabyte micro SD card in it. That is amazing for what I'm doing with it. Plus, dual SIM. Now, there's a lot of argument on the whole Doomsday computer thing as to whether or not you want Wi-Fi in your tablet. I like to have the ability. My Lenovo does actually have a cell chip in it. My general theory to that is, A, I can take that out anytime I want. And B, because it is a actual true SIM card. But you have to have something that has GPS, or at least I want something that has GPS. You can use an old Android phone for this. You don't have to run out and buy a tablet. You can use an old Android phone or an old iPhone as far as that goes. Everything we're going to talk about today is Android specific. However, I don't know if there's crossover apps to iPhone. And I carry an iPhone. I have the iPhone 14, I think. Not the one that just came out last generation. But be that as it may, with this, and as I make this video on October 1st, this thing has a $55 off coupon. So I'm going to be in this thing for under $200. So that, and I'll leave a link to this specific tablet down in that I'm getting down in the deal, down in the description. But what I bought through eBay is these Motorola D5s. You can see right there. Bought this item. Bought it yesterday. Actually bought 3 of them, one for each sister, one in Pennsylvania, one in Florida, and me here in Oklahoma. So no matter what, we can get somewhere. This is half of what these things retail for. So first things first, full disclosure of what I've learned about the D5. So you got to buy an app, or not buy app, you got to go get an app, and there is a plan. This is hands down the cheapest plan I have found. It has either a $5 a month plan with minimal amount of satellite texting involved, or it has a $60 a year plan that gets you 250 satellite texts. Now, if the device hits Wi-Fi and or cellular service, that does not count against your 250 texts. Now, something I just learned yesterday, if you have the iPhone 14 or newer, you have satellite texting built in now for free, which should change the dynamics. Either A, it won't be free for long. It's brand new with iOS 18. Either A, it won't be free for long, or B, it will drive the price of satellite communications down a little bit. One or two, it's going to do one of those two things. But for now, as I make this video on October 1st, 2024, satellite texting is free when you have no cellular service with iPhone 14, 15, 16 using iOS 18. But I have sisters that live in the Android world, or one of them does anyway, and the other one doesn't have an iPhone new enough to do satellite texting. So we got these. I wish it was free, but it's not. So, but this is hands down the cheapest thing I have found. In fact, once I get these in and test, and I watched, oh my God, I watched probably 4 hours of video on this thing yesterday. Or, excuse me, the day before yesterday. And they work. So the company that was building these branded them, got the branding through Motorola, but they were not Motorola. The company was making them, and they were called Bullet Satellite Messenger System. uh, which you can find them online. I'll put links down at the bottom. They actually had to go out of business as the Bullet Satellite Messenger and are now just offering the software somebody else picked up by building the devices. So that is what I want to disclose. The company is not without risk, I guess is the best way to put it. But and I'm waiting to see. It used to be if you bought one at $150, you got a year of service for free. So if you get that $60 service for free, that pays for the device. So you get the device for free. So if that works out, and I'll let you guys know if that does work that way, as I do individual videos on everything that I'm about to talk about today. So this thing is a game changer, and it was compared. I have the Garmin InReach. Have had it for a long time. There's nothing wrong with Garmin InReach other than it costs. The equipment is expensive as hell, and it costs through the nose to keep it active. And they have a damn activation fee, so Garmin's greedy. Are greedy assholes. Now, I did reach out to Bullet Software, and I asked, I explained who I am and that I was hoping to get some kind of coupon code for my viewers. Told them I'm not necessarily looking for an affiliate program or anything like that. I'm just trying to get my viewers the best deal I can. They are a small company. I'm not trying to take money out of their pocket by asking for an affiliate program. And quite honestly, the whole world's getting tired of affiliate marketing. It's over. I mean, when people are telling you what the company wants you to hear to get you to buy the shit, and we all know it. So I did reach out to them and ask them if they could give me some kind of small discount for my viewers, or B, not having any idea how it works, what they pay for satellite messages or whatever, see if they could make a package for that same $60 that has more value in it or more messages in it. So I haven't heard back from them. Maybe I never will. But that's irrelevant. I think for the money, this is probably short of the iPhone and their free satellite messaging. This is probably one of the best devices that you can get. I'll put a link to this eBay auction. I don't know how long it'll be there. You might have to do some searching. I don't know how many they have. I know it says here they sold 89 as of today, and they've got more than 10 available. Now you know everything I know about it. What I did get out of the videos is over here. Let's see. Over here are your power and your tracking and your USB plug to charge it. And then on the other side over here, obviously you have your SOS button. I am going to cover that SOS button with a bead of Gorilla Tape just to keep it from being pushed that easy. And I'm also probably going to cover this side with a bead of Gorilla Tape, because the only complaint I heard about this device is these things are kind of that hardish rubber, and I don't know how waterproof it is. But Gorilla Tape solves problems. Anyway, so you connect this to your phone via the Bullet Satellite Messenger app. Now, I was going to try and use my actual Lenovo tablet, and I couldn't get it to screen record properly. So I have just sat here for 2 hours, and I downloaded this, this BlueStacks emulator. You cannot turn off this popular games to play thing. I tried. But I want to go over what I keep in my emergency Android Doomsday shit hits the fan whatever tablet. So the first things first, where does this tablet live? This tablet lives in my truck in a Faraday cage, which Faraday cage is very easy to make. Now, first thing people are going to say is, are you worried about an EMP? Well, I'm not expecting one, but you know what? They're super easy to build, and it doesn't hurt you to store it in there. I store it in there powered off. I have it plugged into my truck's USB power, so when it's always charged, because when I start my truck, drive my truck, it makes sure the thing's charged. That might not be the best way to do it, but you know what? Battery life on it's still fine. So I have it in my truck in case I get stranded away from home. If I'm home, it's still in my truck. It made the most sense to me. So let's go over the apps really quick. The first app that I normally keep in this quick apps, I'm not downloading it to put it on this emulator, is Smart Tools 2. It's a $5 one-time program. It gives you a ruler, a measuring stick, a compass, a couple of different meters, this thing, unit converters, protractors. This thing is worth every penny of $5. It just really is. But that is the first app I keep in my quick tools. I keep the camera icon because you never know when you're going to want to snap a quick picture or something. The media manager on mine is full of library, which we'll get to that in a minute. And then I keep the sketch pad in there in case I need to take notes real quick. I can pop that open, I can draw on it with my fingers. And then settings is obviously in there. Okay, next is library. So, Quicks. Quicks is a program, and I will get into this deeper later in another video, that allows you to download all of Wikipedia and so much more and put it straight on your tablet. Part of the reason I want to go to a 2 terabyte SD card. I keep Acrobat Reader on there, and this Read Era is not the one I have on there, but I might go, the one that I have on the Lenovo is Moon Reader Plus. Again, it was a paid app. It does pretty cover flows and stuff. This is the one I have. I have been playing with this Read Era one. It allows you to take and set up collections. Now, because this is in the emulator, I only have one book in here. But it allows you to take that same book, and I can put it under the Bushcraft. So this is Bushcraft First Aid. Or I can put it under multiple Bushcraft and First Aid. And there is apparently no limit to the amount of collections you can create, and then you can put the same book in multiple collections. So this, to me, is a so far seems pretty good free option, because I like free, as opposed to the Moon Reader Plus. So what do I have in my book collection? So I will show you from here. This is my library. This is an actual drive that is just over a terabyte of these are all books. From 3D printing to AI, how to make your own alcohol, beekeeping, biology books, blacksmithing, boating, booby traps, bug out stuff, bushcraft, butchering. Caliber is the online version that I use for across my computers for all these books. Coin collecting, communications. So what I am going to do with this is I am going to take out, like I have personal stuff in here. I have like my own personal library of stuff. Anyway, I am going to make a file of what I consider about 200 and some odd gig-ish of the most important manuals to have, like first aid, some of the bushcraft things, some, the power videos, prepping and survival, some Raspberry Pi stuff, because I think a Raspberry Pi is very essential, if nothing else, for Meshtastic, which we'll talk about that shortly. Obviously, I'm not going to include some of the stuff like real estate investing, this is my full library, but I'm going to pick 200 to 300 gig of what I consider the most important things, like military manuals, for instance. I have just mountains of field manuals, and I mean mountains of them. 522 of them to be exact. You can see down here. I have this on its own external drive, NAS drive. Oh, like I have a little bit of music in here, but it's not music to play. It's, things to keep you occupied. I don't want to say at the end of the world necessarily, but okay. I have law books, I have science books, I have books on rockets, I have books on booby traps, weapons. I have every shooting manual known to man, I think. Firearms manuals. Here is 1100 firearms manual on just about anything. All by name. But anyway, I am going to take several hundred gig of this. I'm going to turn it into a zip file. And you know what? I put a lot of time and a lot of effort and all that, and I'm going to put it on Etsy for $10. If you don't want to go find these books somewhere else, the $10 is to A, pay for the storage that I'm going to have to use to put it in the cloud forever. Because guess what? You cannot... 5 gig at a time is the best you can do anywhere for free. So to get one that is a couple hundred gig, I'm going to have to pay for it. I've tried to look at a couple of different easy ways to do this. The easiest way I can come up with is to take it, put it in a file, put it up on Etsy for sale. So if you want a Doomsday library ready-made for you to go, I'm not selling the content, I'm selling my time and putting the content together. So anyway, that will be the Doomsday library. I also keep a couple of other survival manuals in there. You can download these offline survival manuals straight from the Google Play Store. So that is the library portion. Communications. Now, here's what I keep in here. I obviously am going to have the Bullet, or I will be putting the Bullet satellite messenger in here. It will not actually load into this emulator for whatever reason. It's already uh, already loaded on the Lenovo. Uh, so, but what I currently have in there is I have the Garmin Messenger that works with the inReach that I have. I have Meshtastic. If you don't know about Meshtastic, I'll do a whole video series on that. I have the ATAC system, and I also have the Talkabout system. Now, what Talkabout is, if you have local people that you're going to want to connect to, you can get these Motorola Talkabout radios. This is the app. And you can only get the Motorola's that will support the Messenger app for your phone. They have to be the TX800 series. I think mine are 803s, but I think you can just... yeah, these are what I have. The T803. They got a 35-mile range. In the woods, legitimately, you're not going to get 35 miles out of it, first of all. Those are not... Yeah, those are the ones I have. In the woods, we get 16, 18 miles for sure. I mean, you're not in the open plains and prairie of Oklahoma. You can probably, line of sight, you can probably get 35 miles. But with these, you can, and I'll leave a link to this down here below. But with these, you can use this Talkabout app, and you can text across the phone. It's kind of handy for local communications. It's unencrypted, first and foremost, where Meshtastic is LoRa, and it is encrypted. It's a little bit more difficult to use, quite a bit more, but you can actually extend Meshtastic in your local, this is where you're going to live area, unlimited range. It literally, if you could put in a Meshtastic node and connection point, you could put it the whole way across the United States if you had that kind of time and all that to find a place to set them up. It's feasible. The furthest LoRa transmission that I know of was over 100 miles from node to node. Meshtastic also has, you can link ATAC through Meshtastic. It is, and it's open source. Other than the equipment, it's free. But those are the communications I have. Navigation. I have a simple compass. All of these apps have the ability to download offline maps. So Maps.me is great. This What 3 Words. This is a great way to have unencrypted communications with an encrypted rally points. I'm not going to get into how What 3 Words works. You need to look at that. I'll do a video on it later. And as I'm talking about, I'm not affiliated with any of this stuff. This is just what I use. I'm not getting any kind of kickbacks for any of this stuff. And all of these are free. Drone. Now, I do have a affiliate link for DroneLink that is going to give you guys a little bit better deal on DroneLink, and I'll do a whole video series on DroneLink soon. While the DJI Fly app, which it would not let me install again on this, is handy for just using your drone. DroneLink lets you set up like perimeters and patrol zones, and DroneLink is amazing. If you have a drone and you want to use it for any kind of tactical or reconnaissance, can't even say it. You know what I'm trying to say. DroneLink is the way to go. I will do a whole video series on DroneLink itself. While I'm thinking about it, something else that I normally keep in quick apps that would not install this emulator is the GoPro Quick. So one of the things you would ask yourself is, okay, why would you want GoPro on there? So you can set GoPros up if you do a little bit of, it's not cracking, it's through GoPro, but you can download the GoPro Labs firmware and install it in your GoPros, I believe, the whole way back to the GoPro 3s. I'm not sure. I have all GoPro 7s. I have like 10 of them. You can install the firmware on your camera, and you can make your GoPro. First of all, you can turn off that annoying little beep, beep, beep every time it starts or stops, and you can make them motion activated. They are fantastic. See who's running around or could be running around devices, because they are small. There's no night vision. I wish there was. Right now, at least on mine, there's not. I don't know if the newer GoPros have any kind of night vision, but most people aren't running around through the woods at night. So if you've got a trail and you are, one, trying to determine what time game happens to be on that trail, or two, if anybody else is walking that trail, GoPros are small. I get the black ones, therefore they are very camouflaged. You can hide them in very specific places. Use your GPS softwares to track them, or where you're putting them, drop waypoints, and you can essentially surveil an area or a trail or whatever with a GoPro very easily. The downside is it's not real time. It's not like it's coming straight to your phone. But GoPros do have some value. Next file folder I keep. Knots. Just basic Army knots, and there's fishing knot thing in there. Now, it's important to say all these things, or most of these things, all work offline until we get to this broadcast one. But knots, kind of important to have. First aid manuals. That one's Red Cross. This is another version that's kind of like Red Cross. Medscape and drugs.com both have pill identification. So you can type pill number in there and it'll tell you what it is and what it does. So if you're scavenging at the end of the world and the zombies are running around and you find a bottle full of pills, the label's ripped off, you can at least look up the pill number and see what it is. It might be antibiotics that will be beneficial to you, or it could be blood pressure medicine, who knows. But if you find a bottle and you don't know what the pill is, type the pill number is, tells you what it is. Plant identification and edible plants. These, again, all work offline. None of them are fantastic, but they all have value. I have tried numerous ones, and these all work okay. But more importantly, these all work offline. There's one that works fantastic that I didn't download for this that has to be online. Hunting and fishing. I have deer calls. iHunt 750 is more wildlife calls, like coyote calls or whatever. Fish Deep. This is one of them ones, when I first tried it, I thought it was going to be stupid. Just like with the navigation apps where you have to download the apps for the area you're in, you can download all the lakes and rivers. Well, I don't know about the rivers. All the lakes in your area, and it gives you depth charts based on, if the water's full. But Certain fish like walleye. Walleye are shallow in the summer, in the early spring and fall, and then in the summer when it's hot, walleye go deep. So if you're in a lake and you're hunting walleye for something to eat, and it's the middle of July in Oklahoma, you're going to want to be deep, and this will tell you where the deepest spots are in a lake. It is GPSable, meaning it'll tell you if you're in a kayak or a canoe or whatever, where you're at in true relationship to the depths. Obviously, it doesn't work as a fish finder, but when you're online, if you are connected online, it actually, as people use it and find fish, it marks them on the maps. But that part obviously wouldn't work if you're offline. Astronomy. Why would you want to keep astronomy? There's a couple of them. Sun Survey is probably one of the most underrated apps in the world, and I'll tell you why. This is another app that I keep the paid version on my actual tablet that I use. I just downloaded a light one so you can see it. What it does, it will tell you the true progression of the sun, where it's going to come up, where it's going to go down, which will help you in setting up your solar panels to make sure you're going to maximize the amount of sun you're getting into those panels. The 3 different night skies are for people that need or want to, you can navigate with stars. I mean, they've been doing it for 100,000 years. But not to mention, it will also tell you other things about the night sky. And you know what? If you're just out in the woods and you're bored, sometimes looking at the night sky and looking at stuff, it's handy, right? All right, broadcast. I have the FEMA app on there. I have Scanner 5-0, which is police radio frequencies. You can gather up all the police frequencies for your area and put them in there. And then a couple of FM and AM radios. Radio LY does AM stations, Radio FM just FM stations. But it seems to do more FM stations. That's why I have 2 of them. The FEMA app is great for emergency situations. It keeps bulletins and all that. Now, I normally on the Lenovo I have, because I do have cell service on it, I have some weather apps and radars and stuff that obviously wouldn't work offline, but they do work with cell signal of some kind. Translators. You never know. Let's say the zombies are out running around and you find a guy walking around and turns out he doesn't speak what you speak. Translators are handy little apps to keep. Both of these you can download. One's Google Translate, the other's Microsoft Translator. You can download specific languages for both of them. So you can download like Spanish. You might want some Arabic on there. You never know. You might want some simplified Chinese. Which, if you're going to get Chinese, there's actually 2 different dialects. One's Mandarin and the other is, I can't remember what it is, but there's another one. But maybe put some Russian on there. Who knows where the world's going right now. But that allows you to download, and that is, my Lenovo was topped out at a gig, and it is absolutely full. Part of the reason why I'm buying one, it'll take a 2 terabyte memory stick, and I will buy 2 of them. I will make them identical, and then I will put the second one in a waterproof container inside the case. Well, I carry my second one inside my tough case that I put on the Lenovo. The new one, I might have to come up with a different solution for that. But in case, every now and then you get a memory card that goes bad, so I have a backup. 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? So, the translators. The last thing I really keep on here And somebody's going to ask me why, because it would eat your battery, are small flying games. The offline games, Texas Hold'em Poker, it's a lot of fun to play. But let's say you're in a situation where you're quote-unquote surviving, and all of a sudden you are hemmed up inside, bored out of your mind because it's a downpour rain or whatever. Over extended periods of time, just inactivity, your brain will turn to mush and you'll start to go nuts. Having something to occupy yourself other than reading isn't a bad idea. So this is the basics of what I have on the Lenovo. Once I get more space, I'm going to add some other stuff to it. But this is my Doomsday computer, for lack of a better word. With the amount of information I have on there, it is staggering. I mean, this thing is fantastic. And the last thing I want to show you, and I'll leave a link to this as well, is the solar panels. These are 60-watt foldable panels that have the 5-volt USB outset and 18-volt DC for camping, cell phones. They are, this is the updated version of the ones that I currently have. And as I'm sitting here looking at them, you get 20% off. Maybe I'll go ahead and order a few of these. I have 3 of these. And what I do is I have several of the battery banks that when nothing else is plugged into these, the battery banks are, so they keep storing power. So I think I will get a couple of these 60 watts, 2 or 3 of them. I keep all of them in that center console of my truck. So I always have solar chargeability. The cables they have are fantastic for, that they come with are fantastic for being able to charge anything. I'm assuming these are the same cables. It's the same company. And it doesn't show the cables. Yeah, see, this cable has USB-C, iPhone, Lightning, and the Android style one. Plus it also has adapters to go on to a bunch of your other different hardware. These are hands down some of the better charging panels that I've ever tripped across. Like I said, the old ones were 50 watts. These are 60. They got a little pocket to store the cables in. They're fantastic. But so this is the Doomsday computer, or the Doomsday Tablet, and how I have it set up. If you guys know of any apps that I don't, because I mean there's always new apps that work offline and you think, man, he really needs to have this, I'd appreciate it you putting that down in the comments. I'm constantly finding new apps and that do something that I have better. Or if you see something in here that I'm really missing, or I wouldn't know what it is, but you don't know what something is right up until you know what it is. So I hope, if nothing else, this gives you guys some ideas of things, if nothing else, to put on your phone. If you're not going to build the Doomsday Tablet, maybe this is stuff you can just throw on your phone. It would work on an Android or an iPhone, really. There's a lot of back and forth as to whether or not having a cell chip in it makes you trackable. My answer is, why would you want to track me? If we are in let's say, probably one of the most realistic scenarios that's going to suck in the near future of some kind of civil war, then it might become an issue. And at that point, like I said, you pull your SIM card out, throw it away. You still have the GPS. So one thing to be clear about, though, not all tablets have GPS. So if you don't like or can't afford the tablet that the one that I picked out, and you're looking for something more inexpensive, make sure that it has GPS, because GPS is pretty important, especially if you're going to run a drone out of it. I'll tell you right now, a drone is such a force multiplier. I don't have one that has all that thermal night vision and all that shit. I wished I did. But those things are expensive, and I'm well aware of the fact they're expensive. But you can find, I have a DJI Mavic Air 2, and you can, well, here, let me look. As I'm sitting here scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, I can find like the Mavic Air 2, used obviously, in excellent condition with the Fly More kit, which is 3 batteries, which you definitely want that, for $500. So a drone is something that you really need to consider. It's such a force multiplier. It can allow you to, let's say you're in a situation where you don't know where you're at and you need to try and find water fast, because water is the most important thing in your life. You can put a drone in the air, you can fly a couple of miles in every direction and find a water source without burning any calories, and without burning the water out of your body. So, if you find yourself in a situation where, like, man, I wish I had some water, instead of, well, which way do we go? Well, let's walk downhill. Well, you can walk downhill and you don't find anything. But if you would have walked uphill, there happens to be a pond up there that you would have never saw. That in and of itself makes a drone a handy little addition. They don't take up hardly any space in a pack. Like some of the mini drones don't fly as great in higher winds. They'll still fly, but these are definitely something you need to be looking into. Not to mention the surveillance abilities of them. You can, with good old-fashioned Gorilla Tape, you can take the little marker lights that blink out of the equation. You can turn them off. There's a way to turn them off too, but there's just a lot of things you can do with the drone. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I will be doing some breakdown videos. This is kind of as I'm finishing up my Cold Hammer Forged Barrel series and such. This is the next thing I want to get into. So I will be doing some videos on Meshtastic and LoRa and the new satellite communication deals I've got. A breakdown of the emergency tablet, the Doomsday Tablet. So appreciate you guys watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.